Kodak says they're not going anywhere, but their latest moves have a lot of people wondering what's really going on. Let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about what's going on with Kodak. There's been a lot of interesting developments over the last year, and I was gonna do a video talking about some things when they pulled motion picture film from the shelves of stores like B&H, and now you can only buy 16 millimeter there, and you have to get everything else direct from them. I never got to that video, so here we are now, and there's a lot more to talk about. To give a little context, as we all know, Kodak is a household name. They've been the dominant force with film for decades. In 2012, they went bankrupt. They were saved by an equity company, and they were kind of split into two. Eastman Kodak, which handled motion picture film, and Kodak Alaris, which handles all consumer still film. Then Kodak Alaris is now owned by Kingswood Capital, which is another equity company. I don't know the deals with all of these, but in my personal opinion, I think some of what we're seeing is because they signed a deal with the devil. Recently, there's been stuff that came out about them not being able to possibly stay afloat as a company, and they've got a lot of debt to pay off. Just to give some facts, in Q2 of last year, they profited $25 million. In the second quarter of 2025, they reported a loss of $26 million. So there's some interesting things going on there. There was a wave of media and headlines we all saw that was Kodak is going under. We don't know if we can sustain business, blah, 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 blah. We all saw it. We all got concerned. It came out with a statement, and they were like, guys, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. And we're going to pay off our debt, and we're going to keep going. And the way they're doing that is they're shutting down their pension plan, and they're using those funds to pay off debt, and hopefully they'll be net zero debt by next year, is what they said. In my personal opinion, if you go reread their statement, there was kind of a vibe I got of that great meme we all love of the dog sitting in a house on fire. It's going to be fine. Everything's great. But anyway, that's sort of where we're at with Kodak right now. So now I'm going to go into some thoughts and personal opinions on some of the other recent news that's come out. As we all know, Kodak has been working for years to create a new line of motion picture film, AHU, which stands for Anti-Halation Undercut. So they're removing remjet from all their motion picture film, and they're coming out with this new version of Vision 3, which is cool. It's going to be more sustainable for the environment. You can develop it in C41. It brings down costs. It's also, there's a lot of benefits to it. I personally haven't shot on it yet, but I'm excited to, and I think it's a cool thing. I think we all wanted this to happen, and it eliminates a lot of struggles that we all go through to shoot motion picture film, whether it's still or motion. It's interesting to me that in light of all of the weirdness and, I don't know, fear articles that came out about them staying alive as a company, that they had just invested however many millions to create this new motion picture film stock. I did see some rumors out there that, they're going to try and make it into still film and sell it at a high price like Portra. I highly doubt that, but we don't know. It could happen. There's nothing that's come out about that yet, but it does pose some questions for me personally. So let's go back to them pulling motion picture film from stores. The whole point was to control bulk loaders and respoolers and companies that were making a profit off of putting their motion picture film into still canisters for all of us to shoot. On top of that, it also took a hit for the people that just would buy a roll to shoot cheap film and they weren't actually reselling it. I think one thing that's interesting is a company that promotes shoot on film, keep the medium alive, is now also in some way, shape, and form restricting who shoots on film. So, to give a personal experience that I had, as you all know, I'm a cinematographer and I do shoot a lot of jobs on film. I'm about to shoot a movie on 16 millimeter, but I wanted to do some tests on 35. And so I contacted Kodak, and that was not easy. I tried calling them, the sales number. I had to call 4 times before I finally got through to someone. It took me 2 days. Then, when I talked to someone, I told them my situation. I wasn't backed by a studio. I'm a cinematographer. I wanted to shoot some tests and I wanted to buy a couple rolls. Um, they told me I had to fill out a form. And once I filled out that form then had to be approved by someone in upper management. So now there's gatekeeping of who can actually buy film, motion picture film. You can all go out and buy still film right now. But as we all know, they've raised their prices, and like Portra, in my personal opinion, is totally overpriced. And it prices out a certain customer who doesn't want to pay that much for one roll of film. Anyway, I filled out the form, I sent it in. I then ended up getting a call from someone in upper management, and it was an interesting call to say the least. They were clearly in their car and they were asking really basic questions. They were super nice, but it was very nonchalant. Like, well, will I be able to see these tests later online? Do you have a camera? I mean, no, I don't have a motion picture camera, but in the film industry, we all rent anyway. So that's what we're going to do. And then they sent me a quote and I was able to purchase film. Uh, I just thought it was really interesting to me that we had to go through this vetting process to just shoot on film. You would think that they would want people to buy their film. And my biggest question is, what do you care what we do with your film? You're still going to get all the sales from big motion picture movies and studios and commercials. But what you're doing now is you're eliminating a small group, which, although small, is probably still profits that would help you as a company from shooting on film. You're basically vetting who can shoot, and I just find that not right, in my personal opinion. Um, it also brings me to another point. So, on top of them removing motion picture film, then they come out with the new non-remjet AHU motion picture film. Uh, we all know Cinestill. They're a great company. They remove rimjet, and it has a specific look when there's no rimjet, which helps with like anti-halation and all of that. So that's why you get the cool halation from Cinestill, is because there's no rimjet and the light, refracts off of whatever highlights are in there, and it has a certain look. But although AHU is different than Cinestill film, it kind of makes me question, is Kodak in some weird way, or Kodak Alaris in the background, are they trying to possibly get a piece of that market? And what's the deal with Cinestill and Kodak? I mean, early on, we know Cinestill was buying film from Kodak and removing the rimjet themselves. Then I know there's a certain portion they were just getting from Kodak with rimjet already removed. Cinestill does all the packaging, and that's how you get Cinestill. And although Cinestill still will be different than AHU, because AHU still is a anti-halation coating, it does make me think that maybe somewhere down the line they could try and turn the AHU Vision 3 stocks into still stock that they sell to consumers. Um, Again, it's different, but it you can still develop it in C41, so that makes it a lot more accessible for people. And I don't know, it's just a thought that came into my mind. I don't have all the facts, guys. I'm not an expert, and this is all just my own thoughts and questions that come from everything that's come out. Um, I just have an issue with the gatekeeping side of it. It's like, what if you have just a freelance artist that wants to make an art piece on 35 or 70 millimeter or whatever? Like, if they buy the film from you, who cares how they're using it? You're still making the money. And even if someone buys 400 feet and they re-spool it themselves to shoot on, who cares? You made your money. If they're not reselling it, I mean, I kind of understand the control of wanting to eliminate the respooling market. There's a lot of companies like us who have done it, but I don't know. It just seems odd. What I would be really pissed about is down the line if you saw the new Vision 3 sold in still canisters and they price it like Portra. Because in my opinion, we all know that that's not how much it costs to make. You see how much Vision 3 is with remjet when people respool it. It's anywhere from like $9 to $11. And that's pretty affordable, but that also means that what Kodak is making it for is way cheaper than that. So that would be frustrating because, in my opinion, it's just them being greedy. I love Kodak, and I think they're a great company, although I don't agree with their business practices and decisions over the years. There's part of me that wonders on the back end and behind the curtain, like, are they being pinched hard by this equity company? Like, could they ever get out of it and regain their own autonomy with the consumer side of still photography? I don't know. The big picture to me is murky. To wrap this video up, I don't want it to be a doomsday fear-mongering video. That's not the point of this. It's more just to state what I've observed in the last year and pose some questions and also give my opinions. Again, they're just opinions. I have some facts on Kodak, but I don't have expertise information and I don't have inside information. That's kind of where Kodak stands. Financial warnings, new technology, and tighter control. And to me, it creates a lot of uncertainty. They say they're not going anywhere, but the changes are already affecting how people buy and shoot film. So the big question that I want to end on, are these moves of a company that's struggling, or are they steps that are unknowingly pushing film further away from the people that love it the most? Let us know in the comments. I want to know your opinions on this. How has the changes Kodak made affected you? And if you guys have information, let us know. I don't know everything. We don't know everything. These are just opinions, some facts that I did research on, and mostly questions that have popped up in my mind of what could happen or what this means. And it takes the community and all of us and the companies involved to keep film alive, and we want to do that for many years to come. So as always, subscribe, like, comment. Thank you for tuning in, and keep shooting film, and I hope you guys have a great day.